3, 2, 1, and we're on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nice Guys Podcast. This is episode 2. I'm John.
I'm Michael.
And, we're the Nice Guys. And today, we're going to switch it up a little bit. We don't have really a set topic to
Changing lanes.
We don't really have a set topic to discuss. Instead, these next 2 episodes are going to be kind of dedicated to just getting to know each of us.
Yeah.
So today, it's going to be getting to know Mike. Next week, it's going to be getting to know John.
Yep.
And then we'll get back to kind of a regular schedule and a regular way and more different topics to discuss and whatnot. But this is about you today.
It is indeed.
But before we get into that, how was your week?
How's
your week?
So far, so good. Been pretty good. I'm excited. I got plans for the weekend. So, got some fun stuff in the works. You know, I'm going out to Memphis. So, I've never been to Memphis. It's going to be different. I'm taking a car ride, not a plane trip or flight. So, it's a 9-hour trip from where we're at. So, it's going to be different. But they have good barbecue in Memphis.
Dude,
so that's what I've been told.
It's like Memphis. It's like Tennessee has great barbecue. Texas has great barbecue.
So what I've been told though is the best place to get the barbecue is the hood. Like we gotta
go
straight.
The hood in Memphis.
Go to the straight hood, bro. So I mean, I've been told that Memphis is a very dangerous city. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
But so far, so good.
That's
going good.
That's
How about
good.
you?
Man, I can't complain.
No complaints.
This man be going to classes and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I've been working all week. Been at if you didn't catch us last episode, I detail. That's my job.
Yep.
But I work at a dealership. Working at a Mercedes dealership. So we've been chilling there.
He deals with the bougie people.
I do deal with the bougie people. And it's kind of crazy though because, we'll get Mercedes and we'll get, Land Rovers and Jaguars and these like really kind of luxury cars, and you'll be so shocked at
how are the people that work there? Are they like stuck up? Like not work there, but like that bring their car in. Are they like
the person owning their car?
Yeah.
Okay, so typically we deal with mostly just inventory, so trade-ins and stuff, or like new cars. But we do sometimes deal with customer cars. But I'm not dealing with a customer directly, so I can't say for that for sure. Okay.
So you never had like somebody like a customer be like, I need this part cleaned and I need this part cleaned and nothing.
They'll some people will put their request in with our sales manager.
Okay.
But we directly, because we're working in the trenches, we just get kind of
trenches.
We work in the trenches. We in the trenches. We fighting, but
that's funny.
But that's how it goes,
Man.
But we usually don't deal with customers like that. At least I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have the patience for customers either, to be honest with you.
No, dude, for real. Okay, so I have mad respect for anybody that works in customer service because, like, especially nowadays, everything is done online.
Absolutely.
And if orders get messed up, customer service is the first people they call.
Yeah.
Like those service lines or whatever. Dude, I can't even imagine what it would be like to work for Amazon and like customer service, bro. I can't even imagine.
Bro,
that would be crazy.
Don't get me started. Oh.
That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. I couldn't work that job.
Yeah, no, I couldn't either.
No. But, I've had a good week so far. You've had a good week so far.
Yeah.
And, typically we record on Fridays and post Mondays, but it's Wednesday because you're going out of town, so we're going to
Do you want to share with the people really quick about the car?
We can reserve that for my episode.
Okay.
We'll do that. We'll do that. We'll reserve that because that's kind of a story in itself.
Okay. True.
Other than that, though, I do have an issue with my car, but we'll get into that next week because it's going to be an issue that's not going to get fixed until the springtime. So, yeah. But let's get to it. All right.
Nitty gritty.
So, this is all about get to know Michael. So, I have a little thing pulled up that I'm going to kind of bring you through and ask you some questions probably about halfway through. But give the viewers, myself, kind of just a a fairly well detailed version of, I guess, just
your origin story.
Your origin story. What is Mike's origin story? Hit me with the origin story.
Okay. Well, I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I do not have a Wisconsin accent, though. I feel like sometimes I do. Like when I say celery, like the food. People say celery.
Yeah.
It's not celery. It's salary. That's how I say it. It's salary. Okay. It's salary. Anyways, but born in Wisconsin, raised there for like 11-ish years. I moved from Wisconsin to Toledo, Ohio. So my uncle Jonathan lives there. Another one of my great uncles lived there. At a certain point in time, my cousins lived there, but that family moved down to Mississippi. My grandparents lived there, and I went to a Christian high school, middle school. So from the grades of 6th through 12th grade, I went to this middle school, high school hybrid school. Mm-hmm. It's called Apostolic Christian Academy. School, super tiny. My graduation class was, drumroll please, 3 people, including myself. So I had a super, super, super small like experience in high school, but it was good. It was what I needed at that time. Mm-hmm. It was what I needed. It helped me like shape my life, helped me get my path set. Still don't have everything figured out, but it definitely did set me in the right directions. I would say that I am the person who I am today. The reason why I am the way I am today is because of that school. So all the mentors, all the teachers, the principal, mm-hmm. All the friends I had, they definitely shaped me for who I am today. But let's backtrack a little bit. When I lived in Milwaukee, I moved here and I had no idea why I was moving. Mm-hmm. I just remember one day my mom knocking on our door on a morning and my brother and I shared a room and our beds were across from each other. And my mom goes to one bed and my oldest brother, Andres, he goes to the other bed where my brother Mark was sleeping. Okay. And my mom, is like patting my head, waking me up and saying, "Sweetheart, hey, we're gonna move, and I just want to let you know." I don't know why she would tell me first thing in the morning. That probably wasn't the best thing to do.
Right, because it's like you wake up. It's one of 2 reactions, right? It's like, what? Or what?
Yeah, like, huh? Yeah. So that happened, and any young kid, I was a kid at that point. I was like 11, 10, whatever. Mm-hmm. Any kid is gonna have the same reaction to them moving. Because remember, all I knew was Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Right. My friends on the block, Mason, Avery, Adam. That's all I knew. Like, that was my life. Like, going out and playing with my friends. That's all we did. Right. Right. So, imagine just having that just ripped from you. All right. Yeah. That was. Yeah. You know. Yeah. Yeah. And that was my experience. So, I had no idea why we were moving. Mm-hmm. And I got some funny stories. I'll tell you some funny stories. So one time, we're at our friend's Avery's house, mm-hmm. right? We're at our friend's Avery's house, and he has a little sister named Nora, and Nora just got this new doll, and bro, she was like obsessed with this doll, bro. It was like a baby, like those baby dolls with like the squishy belly and everything. Mm-hmm. So it was like one of those, and she was like obsessed with it. And then for whatever reason, her mom called her inside the house, right? And so outside it was me, my brother Mark, my boy Avery, and Mason and his younger brother Adam. Mm-hmm. Just 5 goons, bro, just chilling outside. And my brother Mark thinks it would be a good idea to take this doll, because this little girl Nora left her doll outside. Right. Oh man, just thinking about it now makes me laugh. So Mark takes this doll, and he's like, "You know what? I'm gonna chuck this on the roof, bro." And he takes this doll and he throws it onto the top of this roof, bro. And it's just chilling there, like just like spread out, just like that, like a lifeless figure. Like it is, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. And so the girl comes, or the Avery says, "Bro, I'm going to get in so much trouble, bro. You don't even know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. And Mark's just like laughing his head off. Like we're all dying. Like we're crying, bro. And Avery's like on the verge of crying, but not like us. Like he's crying like sad tears. Like oh my God. Like he doesn't know what's gonna happen. And so we all just run home. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't know how it went for him. I mean, he hung out with us the next day, so I'm sure he was fine or whatever. Yeah. But he was probably fine or something like that. But one time, another story. So let me tell you how our house was. So we lived at the bottom of a hill, mm-hmm. all right, on the right side of it. And then as you went up the hill, on the left side was Avery's house. And when you got to the top of the hill, Mason's house was there. But it was a weird hill because it was only steep on one side and then it was flat for the rest of the area over there, mm-hmm. all right? So I lived in the bottom part next to like a forest and everything. And so what we would do is Mason's house was the hangout spot. So we'd all drive our bikes to this dude's Mason's house. Okay. And we just chill there, right? And he was cool. He was a cool dude. Really, really. He was in my grade. We were in a lot of like classes together in elementary. He was awesome. He was my best friend at that time. He was my best friend. I lost contact with him a little bit, but still, he's like mm-hmm. I consider him a close friend. Yeah. So Mason just gets a new iPod like 2 days prior to everything that's about to go down. And so we're all at his house, and, you know, he gets this iPod, and it's like a pine green kind of like, it's like a green, like a deep green color. And the back of it, it wasn't like an iPod Touch, mm-hmm. like one of the ones where you swipe and like home button. It wasn't like one of those. It was an iPod, but it was like tiny. It was like one of those tiny ones. It had a tiny screen. Like the little MP3 type player? Yeah, but it had a screen on it. But it had a screen on it, okay. And you could record, I think, you could record on it too. Okay. And it was by Apple. So it was cool. It was like, mm-hmm. for the time, it was like 2010 or whatever. It was like dope. Yeah, like this the iPhone was like just starting to come out. Yeah. And we were like, bro, this is so cool, right? Yeah. And then who would have known, like 10 years later, that would be redundant now. But at the time, like, we're like 10-year-old kids, like, bro, this is dope. So like, we're like, oh man, this is really cool. So this guy pulls out, he's like, I'm gonna make a video. And we're like, okay, sure. So he was in his garage, and behind his garage was his playground. It was his backyard. Mm-hmm. But there was a walkway on the side of it. All right, so my brother Mark, I keep bringing him up, but he was like Mark was on some different stuff back then, all right? Yeah. So Mark had a bouncy ball, like a what do you call it? Like a dodgeball or something like that. Okay, yeah. Like a dodgeball. Yeah. And all of, like, Adam, Mason's younger brother, had like a Nerf foam sword, and Avery wasn't there at that time. I don't think he lived there yet. But and it was me and Mark, right? And so we come around the corner, and Mark says, this video is gonna be in 3D, and he throws the ball at the iPod, bro. Oh no! Yes, bro, and the iPod falls on the ground, and it cracks, bro. Like it cracks, and it's like destroyed. No. It's destroyed. But the thing is, Mason got this iPod like 2 days prior to like all of this going down, and so we look at the iPod, and like the iPod's on the floor, and we're like on the ground, and we're like, oh my gosh, bro, what just happened? And we're freaking out. Like, we are flipping out, bro. Like, we have no idea if this thing is cracked or not. So Mason picks it up. He's freaking out. He's shaking. He looks at it, and he goes, oh my God, my dad's going to kill me. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, he showed it to us. It was all destroyed, like black screen. It was destroyed. And it was all because of Mark. Because Mark took this dodgeball and just 3D and just chucked it at this dude, right? And so, yeah, I don't know what happened to Mason. His dad had anger issues, though, for sure. At least from what I could tell. I'm not like a psychologist or anything like that, but like from what I could tell, not professionals. I'm not professionals. We're not professionals. Not professionals. But it looked like this dude had anger issues, right? Right. And so I'm sure he got in trouble. He probably had Apple Care or something, but still, I'm sure he got in trouble. Yeah. And so so like stuff like that was what went down in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay. Now that was keep going.
Okay. I was just gonna say so Milwaukee's where you spent majority of like I would say your elementary years.
Elementary years for sure.
Okay. So now take us to Toledo.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're moving, and my dad, when he was in Milwaukee, was a pastor of a bilingual church, Spanish and English, in downtown Milwaukee. Okay. And so we move, right? And so the thing is, when we moved to Ohio, we didn't have a house to stay in. Mm-hmm. We didn't buy a house.
Right.
We were still looking for one. So what we did was we lived in our grandma's house. So she had an extra room and a basement that wasn't finished. Or it was finished, but it was like some janky old raggedy basement.
It worked.
But it worked. There was like, for people who live in Ohio, they know what I'm saying. There's one shower in the basement, no bathroom, just a shower and a pull-out couch. And so for like 2 or 3 months, my brothers and I lived on this pull-out couch. So imagine 3 dudes. So one guy who was like 20-something years old, like probably like 22 years old.
Okay.
Another kid who was like 14, 13. And then me, who was like 11 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. And we're all huddled up on this couch. It wasn't horrible. Like, in the time, I had fun. But looking back at it, I'm like, bro, that low-key, like, that wasn't good. Like, that wasn't right? good. Yeah, it wasn't good at all. And so let me backtrack a little bit. So when we moved in the summer. So in that summer month, my mom and dad were like, well, we don't want you to spend your summer somewhere unfamiliar. Like, we want you to have fun in the summer, right? So I think they acknowledged that we were moving and that we were going to have a bad time this summer. So they were like, you know what? How about you move just for the summer? You go stay with your tia, or your aunt. Tia is aunt in Spanish. So go stay with your tia, Argenis. And Mark and I were like, yeah, let's go, bro. Let's go. We're going to stay out in New York. It's going to be lit, bro. Yeah. And so that's exactly what happened. We stayed out in New York and we had a blast. All right, we had an absolute blast. But she was strict. My tia Argenis was strict. So I didn't know how to eat, use a fork, knife, or anything like that. So she taught me the correct way. She was a stickler, dog. Like, she was a stickler, bro. So, like, her table etiquette was like, okay, if you are going to cut your food, you pick up your knife with your right hand, and you pick up your fork with your left hand, and you cut with your strong hand, and then you put the utensils down. And with your dominant hand, you pick up the fork and you eat it. And like, that's how she was, right?
Okay.
It was
very traditional.
Super traditional.
Very traditional.
She's Colombian.
Right.
Yeah, she's Colombian. Yeah. She wants things to be done the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, what that summer was like. But it was fun, though. Like, I was with my brother. We had a great time. We had a great time. So, but her house, though, bro, her house was raggedy, though. I won't cap. So let me tell you the story about this house. This house was in Long Island, and it was in, I think it was Holbrook is the city. I think that's what it was called, or the township. I don't know.
Okay.
But regardless, though. No basement. It had a couple bedrooms. Mark and I stayed in one of the spare bedrooms she had, so we shared a bed for the whole summer. But you couldn't flush toilet paper down the toilet. You couldn't flush it down.
Dang.
Because it would overflow.
Okay.
And all the poop and everything that was, would just come back up and it would just be floating there. It was disgusting. So you couldn't use toilet paper. Like, you couldn't. And I didn't realize that one of my first times, bro.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Gosh, bro. So, I'm just like, I'm on this toilet, dog. And, like, I'm using the bathroom, right? I'm doing my thing. I'm doing number 2.
Yeah.
I'm going number 2. And I'm doing my thing. And I'm like, this is the craziest time of my life. I'm just going. I'm like, oh! Like, I'm going crazy, bro. And, I've used this expression before, but it's like, at that time, it was like there was a brown Sharpie down there, bro, because I would just kept wiping and like it wouldn't. And so I probably used like half the row, like half of the roll. And I was like, oh, shoot, I can't flush, bro. I can't flush it. But I flushed it anyways. So but it wasn't until after then I realized that you couldn't flush. I'm like, oh my gosh. So things are like things are coming up.
So this thing's overflowing.
It hits the brim. I'm like, bro, what do I do? And bro, okay, let me tell you, this is one of the most disgusting things in my life.
Oh gosh.
I'm like 10 years old, 11 years. Well, it was my birthday. My birthday is July 3rd, so it was around that time. I'm like, man, well, there's only one thing I can do, and I gotta take this toilet paper. And I gotta move it into the trash can. So I stuck my head in that toilet I stuck my hand in the toilet paper and squished out all the water from the toilet paper and threw it. Bro, let me tell you, it was the most disgusting thing in my life, bro. It was disgusting. And so that's kind of what that summer was like in that house.
Yeah.
Like, it was infested with earwigs. You know what earwigs are?
No.
Okay, earwigs are like little bugs that have like little pinchers at the end of their body. Okay. And they go like that, right? I didn't know earwigs could bite. All right.
Okay.
But I found out over the summer they definitely can. So I'm in this bed with my brother, and it's like 3 a.m. We're on his iPad mini watching, like, I don't know, stupid YouTube videos or something like that.
Yeah.
And I feel something pinch my arm. I'm like, oh my gosh, what the heck? And I look, and it's an earwig, and it's biting my arm. Ooh. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I was freaking out. So yeah, that's the kind of how that summer was. Okay. It was a fun summer. It was a fun summer.
Yeah.
So after that summer, like I said, we moved to my grandma's house in Toledo, Ohio. Mm-hmm. Okay, and we live in that basement. So 3 guys in one basement in a bed. You know, it was weird. And at the time, too, my grandpa had dementia. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a good memory of what we call him Papa. I didn't have a good memory of my Papa before he had dementia. Okay. So I only knew him really with dementia, right? Okay. And so sometimes he would say the most, like, I wouldn't say out of pocket, but he would just say like some of the most random things.
Just random things. Yeah.
Like, dudes with dementia. If you ever hang around people with dementia,
they just say the most random stuff. Random times.
Yeah. And so now I feel bad for this, bro, but we used to play with him, like with words. We used to play words, bro. It was bad, bro. But it wasn't just me. It was all of us. Yeah. So like, he'd be like, son, who's the president now? And I'd be like, Tiger Woods. And he would be like, oh yeah, I know that guy. But like, we do stupid stuff like that. Yeah. Looking back, like, I feel like, man, I was a garbage human being.
Yeah, right. Because it's like you look back and it's like, oh, I feel bad I did that. Yeah. But in the moment, and you're a little kid, exactly. Yeah, I didn't know better.
But like, I'll tell you how bad his dementia was. There was one time he was drinking a bottle of vinegar. Yeah, so that's kind of like where he's at. Yeah, right? That's where he's at. So we stay in this basement, or we stay in this house, my grandma's house, my mama's house, for like 3 months or so. And then in October-ish, somewhere around there, we find a house 6 blocks away from my grandma's house, or from my mama's house, in the same neighborhood-ish, area. And, my dad is like the ultimate negotiator. Like, he brought this house down like in price in like a humongous amount. This guy who was living there just wanted to leave. Right. He just wanted to go out, live in the country, build his own house, do his own thing. So he wanted to be rid of this house, whatever. So we got the house, right? And it was cool because for the first time in my life, I had a house with 2 stories.
Okay.
I've never lived in a house that had 2 stories before that one. And it was cool, bro. It was cool. My room was upstairs. My brother's room was right next to me, and there was an air vent, so I could see what he was doing, and he could see what I was doing, and he could hear what I was saying, and I could hear what he was saying. So sometimes, like, I'd be sitting, like, in the middle of the night, I'd be like, like, just do stupid
just stuff, like, random stuff. Yeah.
And he'd be like, what's going on? He'd freak out or whatever. And then across from us was our other brother's room, Andres. And then, go a little bit farther down the hall, you see my parents' room. But living in Toledo was cool, man. I was super fat as a kid. I think I maxed out at like 180 pounds at like 5'4". So I was like borderline obese, I think.
Yeah, so, for 5'4", yes.
Yeah. For a 5'4" guy, that, like, I was a kid. Who was like, because think about it, that summer all I did was just like eat junk food. And I was eating Cheetos, and my mama, bro, she would like buy.
They spoil you. Like grandparents spoil,
bro. For me, when I was a kid, when I was that age at least, I didn't want toys. I didn't want Legos. I wanted freaking like hot fries. I wanted Cheetos.
Food. You wanted snacks. Yeah.
And so, bro, she would take me every Saturday, bro. We would go to Family Dollar, and she would take me to Family Dollar.
Give me some snacks. That's right.
And it was the best. Like, it was awesome, but I got fat, and. At the time, I was like, I don't care about my health. I mean, I'm a kid. Who cares? Like, as a kid, who cares about their health, right?
Right.
Unless you live with like crazy strict parents,
strict parents, or you have like
army parents or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the army parents. Yeah, we're gonna send you off to military school if you don't lose weight.
Yeah. But I wasn't like that. Yeah. Right? But it did get so bad that my mom was like, all right, Michael, listen, you got to control your weight. And if, what did she, I forget what she said, but she was like, you got to control your weight. And so what we're going to do is we're going to limit you to only eating junk food or Cheetos or whatever. Or no, it was specifically Cheetos. That's how much I was addicted to,
to hot Cheetos, bro. You still love hot Cheetos.
I still love hot Cheetos. I'm not addicted though. Maybe, I don't know. But on Saturdays, so only on Saturdays could I eat hot Cheetos. And that was, everybody at school heard about it. And so it was called Hot Cheeto Saturday. And so everybody knew about it, bro. And all my friends knew this is Hot Cheeto Saturday for Michael. This is Hot Cheeto Saturday.
That's how you do it, bro.
Yeah. So but during this time though, 6th grader, I lived in a new state. I had no friends. I started going to a new school. It's called Apostolic Christian Academy. The whole middle school, bro, had like 20 people. All right. It was tiny, bro. It was tiny. The whole middle school fit in one room. And we did these things called PACEs, which were like individualized educational booklets. Okay. Right? Yeah. And you just work at your own pace, right? And so I breezed through it. I tested into the school super dumb. I was a dumb kid. I didn't know my basic math facts until I was like in like 5th grade. So I was stupid. I was really dumb. But I got smarter, and time goes on. You get better at things. You get better at things. So that's what happened with me. So I tested into the school, super low grade, and they gave me a bunch of like 4th grade level paces, even though I was in 6th grade. So I'm like blowing through this stuff, bro. And so I catch back up to my grade, right? Okay. So at this time, it was me, my friend Amin, which you guys will probably meet eventually. He'll be on here probably one of these days.
At some point,
yeah. So me, my friend Amin, a couple girls. Like, we had a huge class, now that I think about it. At that time, we had a huge, at least for what I think is huge now, I guess. But we had a pretty solid sized class.
Decent sized class.
That school, yeah. And then, during recess, for whatever reason, these kids were, like, addicted to basketball. And, like, the concept of sports was, like, foreign to me. Like, I knew what football was, and, like, I shouldn't say it was foreign.
But you never really played sports.
I never did it myself.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the reasons why I was crying so bad when I was moving, too, is that I was going to start playing football my 6th grade year for the middle school that was there.
So you're about to start your career, bro.
I was
ready, bro.
Go. I was ready, bro. I was gonna be running back. So let me tell you something. Over that summer, I probably gained like 30 pounds or so, bro. Like, or 40 pounds. I was fat. Like, I got big, bro. But anyways, because I was gonna play running back. I was gonna be a running back, bro. But anyways, all right. So all these kids during recess, they're playing basketball, and like it's all these like black kids, bro, and they're so much more athletic than me. I'm a short, white, fat Colombian kid. Like, I had no athletic bone in my body. Like, bro, I couldn't jump, I couldn't shoot, I couldn't play defense. I couldn't do anything.
Sports were not your thing.
Sports was not my thing.
Not your thing.
Yeah. So during that specific year, and so I was like, bro, I want to fit in. I want to, play basketball with these guys.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let me at first. All right. So I was like, oh man, I need to get better. So I would play on my own, and I got better, and then they started letting me play with them some recesses, and I got better, and then 7th grade year comes around, and, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to, because at the time I was only playing at recess, right? But I was like, you know what? I like this a lot, actually. So I was playing outdoors, and I was getting pretty good at it.
You're playing a lot, yeah.
And during that time, I saw myself starting to lose weight, and I was getting into shape, and then 8th grade rolled around, and I lost, 8th grade I was at my highest weight. But then after 8th grade is when I started losing weight.
You started, so freshman year, sophomore year.
Bro, I dropped it like a fly, bro. I dropped it like crazy. And so, this whole time too, let me remind you, middle school kids, they have crushes, right? Like every kid, every guy, every boy has a crush, right? But they don't know how to express their feelings, right? And so me and my knucklehead self, I was dumb. Like, every kid's like, oh, I'm gonna throw a rock at this girl and she's gonna love me, bro. Like, that's usually how like kids like flirt or whatever. So yeah, I was dumb like that, right? I was dumb.
Yeah,
so that's how I flirted. So for me, my crush went to that school, right? And I was dumb. I was really dumb. I would do stupid stuff. I would always bicker with her back and forth, and that was my son. That was me showing my love for her. Right? That was me like, oh, I love you. But she didn't like me because I was fat.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that was an underlying, like another reason to lose weight.
Yeah.
So, speaking of weight, one time, I was getting yelled at by my dad in like 8th grade, I think. And again, this is when I was my highest weight at 8th grade. And I was short in 8th grade. I was like 5'4", somewhere around there, 5'5" maybe. It was 180 pounds though.
Yeah.
185, somewhere around there. I was fat. I was huge. And my dad's yelling at me, but he wasn't yelling at me because I was overweight. He was yelling at me because I lied to him about something, and I lied bad, like really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's yelling at me. So in his room is low key intimidating. Mm-hmm. So he has his bed. It's like a king sized bed, raised.
Mm-hmm.
Just like really like king. It's very king like, but and it's king size too.
Yeah.
And there's a couch at the end of the bed.
Okay.
And so, whenever we get yelled at the time by our parents, we would sit on the couch, and he would look down at us.
Oh.
And, and we'd like in our, I wouldn't say in our family culture. I wouldn't say all Colombians or all Hispanics are like this, but in my family culture, it's a sign of disrespect if you look your dad in his eyes while he's yelling at you.
So you always look down.
I always look down. That was just my thing.
Okay.
I always look down. It's like a sign of me saying that I'm lower than you. You know what I mean? Like I'm like you know what I mean?
I'm taking what you're giving me.
I'm
yeah.
definitely. It's like a dog with a tail.
Yeah,
that's how we are. It's like
Yeah.
So my dad's like just going in on me. He's yelling and calling things out. And like I start crying, bro. I'm like at the time I'm probably like 13 years old, somewhere around there, 13, 14, whatever. And I start crying, bro. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really messed up big time. I'm a big doo-doo, right? And then he starts bringing up my weight. Oh, man. This guy starts bringing up my weight. And I'm like, oh, no, you shouldn't have done that. You done that. No, don't do that. And so then he says, and you can't even control your own weight. Or he says, wait, you can't even control your own weight. And, like, the preface, me and my dad's relationship right now is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I love my dad. I have a great relationship with him.
Yeah.
And so... Because like a lot of people, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I hate my dad because he yelled at me so much when I was a kid." Whatever. It shapes you. It helps you be a better person.
Tough love, right?
Tough love, for sure. And so my dad and we have a great relationship. We talk all the time. I love him. He loves me. It's great. But at the time, man, I don't know what I thought I was doing. I thought it was hard or something, bro. And I stood up and I was like, "You can't call me fat." Well, like, what gives you the right to call me fat? I think my voice cracked too, so it just added season to it, bro. It was just, it was chef's kiss. And he, like, slapped me in the face, right? Which is, like, nowadays, if people get slapped in the face, they look down on it kind of.
It's child abuse now.
Yeah, child abuse, but no, it's discipline. It's discipline.
It's discipline.
Punishment, discipline, whatever you want to call it. And then he pushed me back down on the couch. And I was like, oh, dang, yeah, I messed up.
Yeah.
I messed up bad.
Yep.
So, that was one time.
Yeah. So there's a lot of contributing factors as to why you wanted to lose weight.
Oh, for sure, bro. For sure.
Yeah.
And then I got, like I said, I wanted to lose weight so I could be better at basketball. I wanted to lose weight so I could impress this girl. I wanted to lose weight so I could impress my parents and my relatives and everybody. And so I'm losing weight. So 9th grade pulls around. So I'm losing weight.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at basketball. Right. I'm playing on the varsity team for my high school. I'm like the 6th man. Like I'm like the 3-point specialist. Like I was like a pudgy version of Kyle Korver.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Sit in the corner, catch it, shoot it. That's your deal.
Yep.
Run around the wing, catch it, shoot it. Like that was me. Right. And on special occasions, I play point guard. So, but like my love for basketball, like developed.
It grew over time. Right.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And I still love it to this day. And the crazy thing for me is that I didn't play my best basketball at my school games or like at my school. Like for me, like the most fun I had playing basketball was like going to like the YMCA or going to
those pickup games, right?
Because well, one, I wasn't friends with everybody that was on my team in high school. I wasn't. Just if I'm being honest, I wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just how things fell in order. I'll talk more about it in a little bit, but at the YMCA, I was literally friends. Like, we were all friends with each other, and we were all really good at basketball, and we were all competitive at basketball. And the kids who would go to the YMCA were, like, the reject kids. Like, nobody wanted to talk to them. Like, they were, like, the low-profile kids, right? But they were, like, stupidly good at basketball. I don't know what it was. They were really good. Like, there was a kid who didn't start for his high school. There's a high school in a suburb of Toledo. It's called Northview. That's what the high school's called. And they're really good. They're a really good basketball team. Or at least when I lived there, they were really good. And this kid was better than every single one of the players on the team. I had a friend I went to church with who was on that basketball team and said, oh, yeah, my boy Chandler, the guy that I played with at the YMCA, he's better than anybody on the team, but the coach doesn't play him. So these kids who go to the YMCA, it's because they don't get a shot from the coach, but they're really good.
But they're that good.
Dude, they're amazing. They're amazing. And so what we would do is after practices or whatever, we just go to the YMCA, bro.
Just keep balling.
We just keep balling, bro. And we were all friends with everybody. But that's when I had my most fun, is because, and this is no, like, I love my coaches. Like, they gave me a lot of life principles, and they did help me develop my basketball. But, like, playing at the YMCA or at these community rec centers gave me the confidence that I needed, because I could try new stuff and not get yelled at because I don't have anybody on my back saying, oh, you can't do that, or you can't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so one time my coaches found out that I was playing at the YMCA after practice in the regular season, which is like a big no-no.
You don't do that.
Because injury, right? You can get hurt, something can happen, right? So my coaches were like, don't play at the YMCA anymore. You're banned from the YMCA, or you're banned from these community centers for playing. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, no, you're banned. I'm not going to let you play. If you play at the YMCA, you're not going to play on our teams. I was like, bro, what? Right. So I stopped going to the YMCA for, like, during the regular season or whatever. But I was taking what I was practicing from the YMCA and applying it into our scrimmages and into our games. And, bro, I did really good. I did good. I won't even lie. I did good. And so I get a starting position in 10th grade in some of the games. Not all of them. I'm still at 6th man, but I'm still coming off the bench, getting good minutes, helping the team get wins. And then 11th grade comes around. And 11th grade year was like the worst for me. And I'll tell you why. So the school that I went to was attached to a church. Okay. And the coach and the principal thought that it would be a good idea if we try to do like ministry with the basketball team. Which is good. It is a good idea. And at the time, I was very selfish. I wouldn't say selfish, but I was very self-centered, I probably should say. And that, like, 11th grade year was going to be my year to shine and to show out. Like, I was going to be the captain of this team. I was going to be the one, like, calling the shots. I was going to be the one doing, like everything, bro. Yeah. This was my team. We were going to win championships. Like that. We were intense, bro. And they decide to bring in dudes from all parts of Toledo, bring them to church so that they could play on the team. Okay. They didn't have to go to school, but as long as they went to this church that was attached to the school, they could play on the team. Okay. And so that's what happened. So all these dudes, you know, I'm losing my confidence. I'm like, bro, they're bringing all these guys in. They don't want us. Like, we had more than enough guys to run the team.
And you had a good team.
And we had a solid team. Yeah, we could have went far. But they bring out all these other guys in who had, like, personalities and egos and pride, right? And at the time, in my head,
you didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's like they're going to take my spot. They're going to take my teammate's spot, my starting five, you know, like that. Because when you're on a team, you create that bond.
Exactly.
And it's like, why are you trying to break the bond?
Exactly. And the thing too is we had a switch of coaches.
Right.
So my 10th grade year, which is one of my better years, our coach left.
Okay.
Right at the end of the season, right? Put in a new coach who was the assistant coach at the time, and then he becomes the head coach. And he's a good dude. Like, he almost made it to the NBA. Like, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. I love him. I owe him a lot of what I know from basketball, my life principles, I get from him. Like, I owe him a lot. But at the time, I was so upset. Like, I was so mad. And I didn't know how to express it. So I would, like, I got, like, into a dark place, low-key, right? I got kind of into a dark place. So this is my 11th grade year, right? So my grandpa dies in December. All right. I'm like anybody who was like I said earlier, I didn't really know my grandpa before he had dementia, but still, it's my grandpa though. It's still my grandpa, right? Anybody who loses a family member, they're gonna feel it, right? And so yeah, it was tough. That was a tough year, and then, I got dumped by that girl that I was trying to impress.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And that was just more fire, or more fuel to that fire that I was already feeling. Like I was like, oh man, I was like I was already hurting. You're just putting more gasoline to the burn. And so then all these dudes come onto this team.
Everything's going wrong for you.
It's just going wrong, bro. And 11th grade year is when I get my skinniest. So I did a complete 180, bro. Okay. Instead of eating a lot of food, and I wasn't eating at all, I got down to like 145 pounds.
So you were going from an unhealthy overweight to now an unhealthy underweight.
Yeah,
okay,
bro.
Yeah.
I can show you pictures, bro. I was like, I don't know. I wasn't losing my mind, but I was just like, I don't know.
Right.
I was just down. I was low.
Yeah.
I was low.
Yeah.
And I was a starter at the beginning of the season. Games go on. I'm losing my confidence. I get pushed down to 6th man.
You get benched.
I get benched, bro. And nobody likes to get benched.
Right.
And games go on more, and I start losing more and more minutes, and I become like one of those 10th guys. Right? And it's like, bro, what did I do to like what's going on? And so, but the thing is, in scrimmages, I'm like killing dudes.
Right.
I'm going crazy. Like I'm doing my thing. And so it was weird. That was a weird year. I mean, we made it to the state tournament, and we made it to our conference state tournament. So we were in a Christian conference, and for the state of Ohio, we made it to the second. We were in second place, so we made it to the final game. Okay. We were in second place.
And you lost that.
Yeah,
the championship game, you lost that game. Okay.
So let me tell you that story, bro. So we got dudes at the final 5, or in the final like 10 seconds or whatever. We're only down by like 3 points or so. And the dude commits like a technical foul on our team. Okay. One of the guys that we brought in, and we're just like all like, bro, what is going on, bro? Like we're all mad. And again, I'm seeing this all from the bench. Right. So like I'm already like mentally clocked out.
And that's the worst feeling, is there's nothing
that you
I can't do anything about it. Right. Yeah.
Exactly. And like I'm already clocked out, bro. I'm like, bro, this is horrible. Like this is trash.
Like we lost.
Bro. Yeah.
You know,
it's horrible. And so, so at that point I was still with that girl, and I texted like, hey, we lost the game. And I don't know, I forget the response that she gave me, but I remember not being happy with what she said.
With that response.
Yeah, okay. She gave me like some, I don't know, some whack response. I might be remembering it wrong, but I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact I wasn't happy with her response, but I might have just been like immature at the time and didn't know how to handle my emotions. But, so yeah, that 11th grade year was horrible. But I got a lot closer to the dudes who were on the bench than I would have if I,
if you were starting.
Yeah. So it was cool. So I shouldn't say I met, but I got a lot deeper relationship with my friend. Well, I consider him my best friend now, Ethan. You know Ethan, right?
Ethan, yeah.
Yeah. Another person that
we'll have him on at some point.
At some point, yeah. You guys, he's a character.
We'll get a Toledo squad going. Yeah. So yeah.
And so I get deeper with this guy, and so, at the moment I was so upset that I got pushed down to a 10th man role, but looking back at it, I'm like, honestly, I was probably for the best. It humbled me.
Yeah.
It, gave me one of the best friendships that I probably will never lose. Definitely will never lose. And it just, I think it helped me with perseverance a little bit. But again, this is all high school. So like, this is nothing.
Like you're still a kid. You got life ahead of you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this all happened your junior year.
Junior year, yeah.
Does this repeat in the senior year?
No. So actually, senior year, so they still bring in, so all those kids who played on that team.
Same guys come back.
No, they got expelled.
Okay.
Because their attitudes were so bad.
Okay. So they get expelled.
So they all get expelled from playing on our team. Right? So we bring in some new dudes. A couple new dudes. Not nearly as much as we brought in last time, but a couple new dudes. And like, they're great additions. They're great guys. And like I consider them my brothers. Right? They're dope. They're good. They were good kids who just wanted to hoop.
Right.
That was all they wanted to do. And so, bro, we do really good. I'm a starter. I'm playing good. Everybody's playing good. And then I get into like a little shooting slump. And then towards the end of the season, I revive myself. Right? And so what I've noticed with myself is I do really good under pressure in basketball. I don't know why. I don't know if that's just the X factor that I have. And this is not me like being selfish or whatever, but like it's true. I usually do better in high value games. So during this middle of the season, I'm like doing bad, bro. Like, because at the beginning of the season, you want to make that statement, you know?
Right.
So there's a little bit of pressure on you.
This is who I am, right? This is who you're going to see.
Yeah. So the first tournament of the year, we won. We destroyed everybody. We're just like pooping on everybody, bro. Middle of the season comes around, we're lulling. We're not doing too good, right? Well, then end of the season comes. And so we go to our state tournament, right? And first game I do, I'm doing good. I'm actually, funny story. So we had some friends from Michigan who wanted to play in our team, who went to a different church, but the same like affiliation and religion and faith and whatnot. So we're like, yeah, sure, like let's have them on the team. So they come to the team, but they live in Dearborn, and our school's in Detroit. Our school's in Toledo, right? So that's like a 45-minute drive, right? It's like a 45 to an hour or so. And so they would practice. They would come for practice and everything, and they were dedicated to the team. So the night before our state tournament, they were like, you know what? Let's just spend the night at Michael's house. It'll be easier for everybody. So they do. But our shuttle was supposed to leave at like 9 a.m.
Okay.
We showed up like at 9:30.
Oh.
Yeah, so we were late.
You were late.
Yeah, we were late because we stopped at the store to get snacks and
whatever.
But I misread the text. I thought it was be there at 9:30, or I thought it was be there at 9. Not they're leaving at 9.
So is the bus gone when you get there?
No, the bus is still there, but they're texting me like crazy. You need to hurry up. And I'm like, oh my gosh, bro. So the first game of the tournament, they bench me.
Yep, that would do it, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it makes sense. So the first game of our state tournament, they bench me. And so our state tournaments were a little bit different. We would do it all in like 2 days. All right?
Okay.
We get it all completed in like 2 days, 3 days or so. It was great time though. So I have so many stories, bro, about like being in those hotel rooms. Yeah. Like in the tournaments, like bro.
Those team building exercises.
Yeah. Excellent. So we win that state tournament, right?
Okay.
And then we go to a national tournament.
Okay.
Bro, we destroyed that and we make our names out, bro, and we're doing good.
Yeah.
And there was I don't know. I got a letter in the mail from a college called Waynesburg University. Okay, so this is the end of my senior year of college.
So now give us a brief run of your freshman year of college, and then let's take it to, I guess, now.
Okay, yeah. So let me remind you, this is all going down from March 2020.
COVID. Yeah.
COVID.
Good old COVID.
Good old pandemic. COVID-19.
Good old COVID.
Yeah. And so nobody knew what was going on, bro. Like, we're all losing our minds, bro. We're all thinking that, oh my gosh, we're all going to die. Like, we're all going to die. Like, they made it seem like it was like this disease that if you get it, you're going to die or like whatever, right? And so this is when schools go home. It was in March.
Yeah.
So all the students go home. They don't,
everything shuts down. School's closed. Everything goes online.
Everything is online. Everything like that. My senior year is 2020. That's when I graduated. So we went home. We did some online stuff. I cheated like crazy, bro. If people say they didn't cheat during COVID, stop. Right. Stop lying.
Stop the cap.
Stop the cap. We all know that everybody cheated. All right. As much as you don't want to admit it, we all know what you did. All right. So yeah, me and my friends are cheating. We're FaceTiming to do exams. We're using Quizlet. Like, bro. You know.
Yeah, I got you.
And so that's what we were doing, right? And so what would end up happening is during these like video sessions that we would do with our professor or teacher or whatever, we would like cheat with each other. Okay. Like, so we would have group messages.
Yeah.
Stuff like so we were cheating like crazy.
Okay.
But like I said, I got a letter in the mail from Waynesburg University, and they're like, "Well, we want you to come out to our college." It had nothing to do with basketball though. It just said, "We want you to come to college."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, cool. I'll come out."
Go for it.
Because I had 4 options. I can go to UT and be on their practice squad, which UT was a D1 school.
Yeah.
But I could be on their practice squad, which is basically just like to help the main players out. Yeah. I didn't want that. I wanted to roll.
You want to play.
Yeah. I could go to a school in North Dakota, which Thank God I didn't do that. I could have went to a school called Clark Summit University.
Okay.
Which only had 500 students for a college, but they had a basketball team, so I had a good shot.
Yeah.
I had a good shot making it. But I didn't want another small school. Or I could have went to Waynesburg, which had roughly like 2,000 students, so still super small.
Yeah.
But still, you know what I'm saying. But let me remind you that during this whole time of the pandemic, so right now, I am a very faith-oriented man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm Christian, but I hold that very dearly, right? I'm apostolic, I'm Pentecostal. I hold that very, very dearly. During the pandemic, I start to lose myself and my walk, right? And I start questioning, and it got to the point, bro. It was so bad. It got to the point where I'm questioning, is God even real?
Yeah.
I begin to think like, well, there might be some higher power, but is it God? So I become like an agnostic type thing, what I mean? And let me remind you, like, that girl that dumped me, right? The November of 2019, we start talking again.
Okay.
Just texting though.
Yeah.
Texting. No FaceTiming. From like just texting back and forth, right? And then the pandemic comes and we don't see each other at all. So we're just texting. And our youth pastor was like, you know what? Let's do like a house party call so we can have all the youth group together and like we can see how we're doing. Obviously we can't go to people's houses and stuff like that, but we can see how we're doing.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do that. I only joined so I could see that girl.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't care what the youth group.
Like,
that sounds bad, but I didn't care. I didn't care. And so I'm losing myself. I'm losing, relationships that I had. I'm gaining disrespect. Like, I'm being disrespectful to those around me.
Yeah.
I'm working with my brother at his job. I'm working in a warehouse. Not the best environment for a kid my age, which was technically illegal for me to work in a warehouse because I was only like 17 at the time.
Well,
yeah.
Boo.
Shh. Hush. Yeah. So, but I'm just losing myself, bro.
Right.
I'm not doing good. And I was okay with where I was going because at the time nobody saw end in sight for COVID. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stay at home, do whatever.
Yeah.
But as with most people, I gained weight a little bit during COVID, and I could tell. I was like, man, I'm getting a little bit chubby.
Everyone gained weight during COVID. Yeah.
I was like, dang, I'm getting a little bit chubby. I should lose some weight. And so what I would do is there was a school out in the country that had a track. And I forget what the name of it was. I don't know. I forget the name, but it's not important. So I would go to that track in April, May, and I would
just start running laps.
Yeah, but it was end of April, still a little bit cold. For Ohio, it's still a little bit cold.
Yeah.
Beginning of May, and you're getting better. And I would run laps, and honestly, bro, I would run probably like 10 miles or so, somewhere like 10 to 15 miles, right? And I would just run it. I wasn't running super fast. I wasn't going for speed. I was just going to get exercise. My dad and I would go play basketball on a hoop next to the track. There was a skate park, so I learned how to skateboard. So that was cool. So I learned a bunch of different stuff, but I'm still losing myself, And it was time for me to go to college. Yeah. So it's that end of August, September time, right? And it's time for me to go to college. All right, so again, I'm going to college. I'm going to play basketball for this school. But I'm losing myself, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not, I don't have a grip on myself, right? And so what ends up happening is I get to this school and my roommate, who shall remain nameless, was a cool dude. He's from Cleveland. He's a cool dude. Yeah. Right? He's a really cool dude. I love him. Right? Me and him were tight. He was on the basketball team. He was a good hooper, bro. And he's still on the basketball team. But he probably, for faith or a Christian young man, wasn't the best influence on my life.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't blame him. Right. Because that's all he knew.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't blame anything that happened to me on him.
Right.
It was my fault.
Right.
So, like,
you make your own decisions. You listen to who you who you want to listen to.
Yeah. I'm choosing the voices, which is what Pastor preached about a couple weeks, last week. You got to be careful what voices you're taking in. And so I was listening to the voices of the world, bro, and like I said, I'm losing the grip of myself. I don't have myself centered, but this whole time, I'm still talking to this girl, right? And I saw her before I went to college, and they said we made it official that, hey, we're gonna get back together and we're gonna start dating again. Well, all right, okay. So we've been texting for almost a year now, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just date this girl. Whatever.
Go for it.
What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
Right. What's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
So I get to college, and my roommate is cool. Basketball's going good. But the coach says, all right, so we're gonna put you on the JV team.
Ooh.
Which I've never heard of a JV team for college.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before.
It's a high school thing, right?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay. And so I roll up to the JV team practice. Bro, it's like 4 dudes. Right? Besides me. So it's only 5 dudes. I'm like, bro, there's no way we're going to have a team. There's no... What? And so we don't have any games scheduled. We don't have anything like that, bro.
Yeah, like, might as well be the practice squad for the other team, yeah.
And so I was like, what is... Like, I thought that I was going to be able to play. Like, they never said specifically, oh, yeah, you're going to be on the team. But they alluded to that fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get to this school. We're hooping, Honestly, I'm doing pretty good. I'm holding my own. It's not like I'm worse than any of these players here. In fact, I think you can ask my roommate, who is one of the better players on the team. He's like, yeah, Mike, there's no reason why you shouldn't be a starter on our team. Like, you're one of the best players. I'm holding my own. And so, all right, I don't know what's going on. So I hear about all this news of me being on the JV team in, like, I'm going to say October, beginning of October.
Yeah.
And the coach is like, but if you want to come to varsity practice and help us out, like be the ball boy, run the scoreboard. I'm like, bro, you just brought me to this school to be an assistant.
Yeah.
You might as well just pay me to be an assistant then, So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, I can make a good impression on this coach and do it, or I could just basically be like, nah. I didn't do it. I don't know, of course. I mean, I showed up to a couple practices, but
right. But it's like I'm here. I was here to play basketball with the actual basketball team, right? Yeah,
exactly. So let me backtrack. This college, Waynesburg University, is located in southwestern Pennsylvania. All right.
Right by West Virginia, right?
Right by West Virginia. Yeah. And it's actually super close to the border of West Virginia and Pennsylvania. So Waynesburg is like an hour south of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And it's like 30 minutes or so away from Morgantown.
Okay, so by the West Virginia. Yeah. West Virginia University. Yeah.
Yeah. By WVU. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm playing basketball. I have a good time, but I'm not doing anything.
Right.
So I become friends with a lot of the baseball players, right? And if you don't know any baseball players, for those of you who are watching, baseball players are the craziest.
They party, bro.
They party like crazy.
Oh man.
And I get friends with these dudes, right? And so what I end up doing is I do the wrong decisions, right? But all throughout this time, I'm going to an apostolic Pentecostal church, trying to save face. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to look like a good guy.
Yeah.
But I was actually a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Like I was doing stupid stuff. And so I'm playing. I'm going to this rec center that's in the town, Waynesburg town.
Yeah.
And I'm just lifting there. I'm lifting at the school, and this is when I really get into athletic training. Yeah. Not just like playing basketball, but like athletic training, lifting, exercising, working out. Yeah. And so I start developing muscle, and I start to get like really into like fitness.
Yeah.
Like before, I was just trying to get into shape to play basketball, but now like I'm really getting into it. All right. And so I noticed myself, like I never really had abs before, but during that time, like I noticed myself getting abs, I'm eating clean, I'm getting healthy, and I fall in love with it, bro. Like I fall in love with it. And I get addicted to it, which is not a bad thing. It's not bad to be addicted to being healthy. It's not a bad thing whatsoever. Yeah. So I kind of shifted my focus a little bit from basketball into lifting.
Mm-hmm.
Still playing basketball, still dogging on everybody.
Yeah.
But, well, actually, I'll tell you what. At the end of the basketball season, they would all come to this rec center that I would go to.
Mm-hmm.
We play games or whatever. And, bro, I'd be pooping on everybody, bro. Like, I would be dogging on everybody. But, you know, coaches never see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coaches never see that. But that goes back to me telling you earlier, I play my best basketball at, like, rec centers. And I don't know why. It's just because maybe it's I don't have that. I don't know. I don't have the coaches on my neck or whatever. But whatever, right? And so this whole time, like I said, I'm not really following that Christian life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in the Word. I'm not, you know, living faithfully to God, and I'm just being a goober, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just being a complete goober, dude. And well, I would go out and I'm sorry for those of you who think I was an angel at Waynesburg University. I was not. I was a bad kid.
This is the worst part. This is the worst time of his life. We're in the villain arc of Michael Chikanta.
We're in the villain arc. All right. I would go out, and there was one night. I've never got drunk before.
Right.
Okay. I've never been that type to go out and party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one, because I never had the opportunity, and two, well, no, one, I never wanted to, and two, I never had the opportunity.
Right.
Okay. So, in the second semester, so the spring, so the fall semester, I was fine. Like, I wasn't partying or anything like that. I wasn't doing anything stupid. But in the second semester, I would go out with friends and do stupid stuff. So in the dorms, like, it was a drug and alcohol free campus, but I mean,
people sneak stuff in, right?
All the time. And so I'm in my friend's dorm room, and I forget. I don't know if this is the day. No, this is not the day before Easter. This is a different day. This is a different. That's crazy too. But this actually might be in February probably. Anyways, this guy's like, here, my boy. I trust him, right? No, in my opinion, no, I don't agree with social drinking, right? I don't agree with getting drunk, and that's just my personal view, and from what I get from the Bible, I don't agree with that whatsoever. Well, I didn't care at the time. All right,
you just went for it.
So for those of you, if you do social drink, if you do that, just be careful. Okay, don't take drinks from anybody. Just like, especially nowadays, right?
Yeah.
You never know what's gonna be out there, but just. For me, I don't do it.
Right.
And for a lot of Christians, they don't do it either. Right. But so my friend gave me a drink, right? And it's a twisted tea, and it's like 5% alcohol.
Right.
But it tastes good. It tastes good. So I cracked it open, like I tasted it, I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. And I didn't know how to drink alcohol at the time.
Just down it.
I down it because usually, if you know me, I'm a fast consumer.
Yeah.
So I'm going crazy.
Yeah.
All right. So I drink one, and I'm feeling like a little giddy.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like a little. I drink another one, bro, and I'm like buzzed, bro. And like the dumbest things could happen. I'd be like laughing, bro.
Yeah.
But that was the truth, though. So that was my first time, and all it takes is a little taste, or a little bit.
You get hooked,
a little
right?
doorway.
Yep.
And like next thing you know, the whole doorway's open, and you're going through. If you walk up to the doorway, you're probably going to walk through it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That was me. And so I got drunk that night. And I don't remember, well, I remember some moments, but I don't remember the most of it. But this whole time I'm still going to an apostolic Pentecostal church. Like I said, I'm trying to save face. And at this point, I probably look my worst too. I had a huge, like, not physically, well, yeah, I guess face-wise, I had a huge beard. It was really like just ugly. It was like neck beard and my mustache, and then I had super long hair. It would look good though when I shaved my beard and had my mustache and hair, but it was just, I don't know. I looked untamed. Yeah. All right. Well, the day before Easter, which is a Saturday night, they all go to this one guy's house or apartment on campus. He's a baseball player.
Okay.
I forget his name honestly. But he was a baseball player. And they're like, Mike, can you be like our designated driver? Because they knew that I didn't really want to drink, right? They knew that I wasn't really like kind of like trying to do that.
Yeah.
But I was still open to it. Mm-hmm. But I was like, okay, yeah, sure, for sure. I went. I got drunk that night too, bro. And this will show you how far down the hole that I was in terms of my walk with God. I was still in this. Oh no, actually no, I wasn't. I was gonna say I was still in a relationship. So okay, with this girl I was in a relationship with, mm-hmm. we had I call it a mutual dumpage. But we had a mutual ending in March time. Mm-hmm. So from February to March, probably were one of the worst months mm-hmm. of my life. So February 2021 and March 2021, mm-hmm. probably the worst months of my life mentally and emotionally. Okay, so imagine you have a girlfriend, mm-hmm. right? And you think that this girl is like the one for you,
right?
And you think like, oh my gosh, like, oh my god, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, shoot, dude, like you think like she's the one.
Yeah.
But again, it's like a high school sweetheart type deal.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm thinking that she's the one. I'm thinking that she's like what I wanted, mm-hmm. when in reality, it's not what I needed. It was just what I wanted. Okay. So one day she starts being really dry with me. I was like, what? And that dryness continued, like mm-hmm. one-word responses. You know, when you're in a relationship, you expect to see hearts.
Yeah. You didn't get any of those.
No. Especially when you say goodnight. How would you feel if someone you liked, instead of sending like a full like goodnight, you know, handsome, or goodnight whatever, I'll talk to you in the morning.
Yeah.
They just send a GN.
Oof.
That's like, what the heck?
That's a smack in the face.
That is a huge
smack in the face.
And so this girl was mad at me.
Yeah.
And I found out why.
Mm-hmm.
It was because I went to Toledo and I told her I was going to be there, but I wasn't able to hang out on a day that I made plans with her because I had another commitment that completely slipped my mind.
Right.
And she got mad that I had another commitment that slipped my mind, and she held a grudge about that, which
mm-hmm.
is fine. I understand that. I was a dumb kid at the time, so I would have dumped me too.
Yeah.
If I was in her shoes, but still, I was hurting, bro. I was hurting. She went about it the wrong way, I think, because, like I said, one-word responses making me feel like garbage.
Mm-hmm.
I would, you can ask Ethan, bro. I would stay up at night crying. I would FaceTime Ethan, bro. Be like, bro, I'm in agony right now. Do I dump this girl? Do I just wait for her to dump me?
You're trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And he's like, Michael, you need to dump her, bro. Like, you need to break up with her. But I couldn't. I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
I'm a nice guy.
We're nice guys, man. We're nice guys.
And the saying is, you know, nice guys finish last. Mm-hmm. Which is not always the case. But in this case, I guess it kind of in a sense was. Because I rode on with that pain and agony for like a month and a half. Mm-hmm. Right? Until finally we decided that we're going to break up.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on, a month later, I'm getting better.
Mm-hmm. Not
spiritually, but mentally, I'm getting better. I'm gaining more, confidence again. And the Saturday before Easter comes around, and I'm like, you know what? The guys are like, do you want to go, party with us? But you be a designated driver. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Let's do it, bro. Mm-hmm. Let's do it.
And this is when you get drunk, right?
Yeah, this is one of the times I get drunk. And so let me remind some people that are watching and listening. Getting drunk for us is not a normal thing,
mm-hmm.
right? For some people, that's a normal thing. It's like a normal Saturday night.
Yeah.
For us, that really shouldn't happen.
It's tabooed.
It's tabooed.
You don't do it.
We don't
right?
talk. We don't talk about it. You don't do it. And in the Bible, they look at being drunken as a sin.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I was a sinner. I was sinning. I was going against the commandments of the Bible. I was doing the wrong thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, for those of you wondering why we talk about being drunk in this manner, it's because we're both very faithful to the Bible.
Yeah.
And so, being drunk is not a normal thing for us, right? Well, okay, so I get drunk. And so my friend has, oh man, I don't even know what it was, but it was like a whipped cream flavored like vodka or something like that.
Yeah.
And when you drink hard liquor, you have something called like a chaser, and you drink the liquor and then you drink the chaser after to soothe your throat or whatever. I don't know what it's for, to be honest, but I would do it. So I got drunk off of vodka, and I'm drinking these drinks, and I start flirting with girls, bro, and like girls who aren't in church, and I'm like I said, I'm not myself.
You're so out of it.
I'm so out of it. I'm not myself.
Yeah.
This is not who I'm supposed to be. This is not who I'm called to be, right? My parents still love me, but they have no idea what's going on. My brothers don't really know what's going on. They have kind of a gist.
They have an idea.
They have an idea, but they don't really know what's going on.
Right.
And like all my Ethan and Amin know what's going on, and they're trying to tell me like, "Hey, probably this isn't the best thing you should do."
Right. Yeah.
Like they're being good friends. And they're calling me out. Right. I'm not listening. Like I'm just doing my thing. I'm just doing my thing. Well, after the party, we start, I'm drunk, but I get into the car, right? And I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 dudes I got to care about, right? And they're drunk too.
Yeah.
And they're more drunk than me. Like I'm still drunk. Like I don't have slurred speech, but I'm like not fully.
You're not
I'm
there.
incapacitated.
Yeah.
Right. I'm absent-minded. Right. But I get into my car, and I remember. And I don't know if this was a God thing or like a psychological thing. I'm putting it in God. I'm giving him the credit. I'm definitely giving Jesus the credit. But I got behind the wheel and I sobered up like that, bro. Immediately. And I remember like being on the wheel and not feeling drunk anymore. And I just felt like a guilt just come on me, bro. And I was like, bro, if I started to drive this car, I could have gotten like a serious accident. Because, well, one, we're in Pennsylvania, so we're in mountain country, bro.
Could have gotten killed.
Yeah. And there's no like street lights because we're in the boondocks, bro.
Yeah.
Like we're a rural town, right? Like the biggest building there is a Walmart.
Yeah.
So like where it's out of nowhere. So the chances for being killed is high. And, dude, if you fall into one of these mountains, bro, it's hard for people to find you.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're going to find you in 30 minutes. No, bro, it's going to take days.
Yep.
So, these guys' lives were in my hands, and I could have killed them.
Yeah.
Right? So, I just feel like a huge guilt just come over me. And in my head, I'm like, you know what? I need to get these guys sober, and I need to get them back to the room. Right? So, we go to a Sheetz. And I try to get these guys sobered up. I get them coffee, get them some greasy food, stuff to help sober them down. But I got one boy in the back who's trying to spit game at this like 80-year-old woman. He puts the windows down. He's like, "Hey, mama, let me just
stupid stuff. Yeah,
and I'm trying to put the windows up, lock the windows so they can't say anything.
Yeah,
and bro, it was one of the funniest moments of my life too, because we all go into a Sheetz. So I'm sober now, and all these guys are drunk. And they're like stumbling, walking. They don't know how to behave, but it was funny. It wasn't good, but it was funny. I mean, it was bad though. So, I get them squared away. We bring them back to their rooms. We all live in the same building. Some of them live on the 3rd floor with me, and some of them live on the 2nd floor, just right under me. And so I get these people to their rooms, and one of the kids pukes in his bed, right? But on Friday, I invited these guys to go to church with me. In the morning. And they said, yeah, bro, we're going to be there. So 2 of these guys the next morning came to church with me, right? Again, this is the Apostolic Pentecostal Church.
Yeah.
If you've never been to one of those before, it's a little bit like, for those of you who haven't been there, it's different. In a good way. We're very expressive, right? It's a very healthy environment to be in. But these people have never been in them before, so they have no idea, what to expect. So what ends up happening is these guys get this service, and the pastor's like, "Does anybody want me to pray for them?" And I tell these guys, "Hey, do you guys want to go up so the pastor can pray for you?" And they're scared out of their minds because one of them is Catholic and the other one's like Methodist, so like they never experienced, like that kind of situation before.
Right.
Where someone's willing to pray for them or lay hands on them or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they say no, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But the pastor says, hey, if you want, come to our house after service. We're having a big Easter meal. You guys are welcome to come. So, again, this pastor has no idea what I'm doing on this campus. This pastor wants me to tell Bible studies on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, this pastor was really good to me even when I didn't deserve it.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad. I feel bad because I never lied to him, but I wasn't giving him the full truth of what I was doing on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt bad. But, you know, he invited me to the house, and we got to see his beautiful house, and he has a beautiful family.
Mm-hmm.
It's just think of like a picture-perfect house. That's what he has. It's amazing. And so we go, and this kid, one of the kids who puked in the bed, had to go to the bathroom and puke or whatever. And so we had to leave early, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we go home. But that's kind of like what was going on at Waynesburg,
mm-hmm.
right? And so one of the trips that I made home during, I think it was either end of April, I think. I was bringing some stuff home,
mm-hmm.
getting my stuff home early, because I only had like 2 weeks left on the campus.
Right.
So I'm driving, and I'm in the middle of class. It was a video class, and this was the moment that I realized I needed a wake-up call.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was my wake-up call,
mm-hmm.
I should say. So I'm driving in Pittsburgh on one of the mega highways in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've ever been driven in Pittsburgh, it's weird. There's like no shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it is now, but when I was there was no shoulders on the highways. So, and it was on a mountain, on the side of a mountain. It was a 6-lane highway, 3 going that way, 3
opposite
3 going
direction.
that way, opposite directions,
mm-hmm.
right? So, I have all my stuff in my car,
mm-hmm.
or a majority, a lot of my stuff in my car, and you know I'm in the middle of class, and I'm driving, and I'm in the middle lane of this 3-lane, and there's a merging lane coming, like an exit
mm-hmm.
or entrance that's coming in, and there's like that triangle, like shoulder type deal
right
there.
People are merging into the lane. Yeah.
My back left tire pops.
Okay.
On a nail in the road, and I do like a 360, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm holding onto the wheel for like dear life, and the thing that I shout is Jesus. That's the only thing I shout.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Jesus. And I land, dude, I kid you not, I land perfectly in that little shoulder. Perfectly in that shoulder. Oncoming traffic already going.
Mm-hmm.
I'm perfectly in that shoulder. My body's not hurt.
Mm-hmm.
There was no bruises, no broken glass, nothing. Just a popped back left tire. Okay? When I got out of my car, well, before I got into the accident, it was like the highway was filled with cars.
Mm-hmm.
Just filled. When I got into the accident, there wasn't a single car on the highway. So, in my mind, again, bro, I'm sitting there and I'm gripping the wheel as tight as possible,
mm-hmm.
and I start hyperventilating. And I feel such a conviction and like a guilt. And I'm like, bro, I felt ashamed.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt ashamed, bro, because this whole almost year, like a year or so, I was just doing the dumbest things. I was running from God. I felt like Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just running from God, bro. And even though I was running from God, He was still willing to show me love and protection. I started crying. Like
mm-hmm.
I was like, bro, this is such a God moment. It was like it was such a God moment. Like there was no logical. I should have been dead in the side of a ditch.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I should have been. I should have been on the side of a mountain dead. Mm-hmm. But I was perfectly parked in the shoulder. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I start crying. I start praying, bro. I'm like, God. I start repenting. I'm like, Lord, forgive me. I've been living this wrong life. I've been living this life where, like running from you. I've been living a lie. I've been living not who I am, but I've been listening to this world instead of listening to your voice. Mm-hmm. I start freaking out, bro. And then I'm like, all right, well, I got to change this tire. I've never changed a tire before at that point in my life. So, you know, I get myself, like, you know, relaxed. Mm-hmm. I catch my breath. I'm like, all right, I got to call my dad and let him know what's up. I call my dad. I was like, hey, Dad, I just got in a car accident. I'm safe. The car's safe. My back left tire popped. He was like, oh, son, okay. Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I just need help changing this tire. He was like, okay. And I'm like 4 hours away from home. I just started this trip. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like 4 hours away still. And he's like, okay. This is what you got to do. So he walks me through it and everything. And I have to drive with this donut in the back left of my car. Yeah. All right. It starts to rain on the way home. And I'm like, I'm freaking out. But in my head, I'm like, okay, if God was able to protect me in this car accident, he's definitely... This rains nothing, bro. This rains nothing. So I get home safe and whatever, right? I get home and I go to a service there that weekend. And there was a woman at that church, at my home church in Toledo. I won't say her name, but she starts praying for me. And she says something along the lines of, son, you've been running from God. Mm-hmm. You've been running from your calling. And this is like a direct word from God, bro. Like, it's hitting me in my heart. Mm-hmm. And she's saying, you've been running from God. You've been running from your calling. But you are called to be a gatekeeper. Right? You're called to be a gatekeeper. And in my head, I was like, what does a gatekeeper mean? I don't know. I've never, like, used that term in actual speech before. Right? So I look up the definition of gatekeeper, and it's somebody who allows people in, right? But it can also allow people to take people out. But for the most part, it allows people in. All right. And so she was like, you are going to be a gatekeeper. Mm-hmm. You are going to bring people into this church. That is your calling, but you're running from it. Mm-hmm. In other words, I'm going to be a soul winner, right? But I was running from it, of course. I could have, and if I were being honest, I probably could have won those kids to the Lord. Mm-hmm. Did I? No, I didn't. I brought them to church. I showed them what it was like to be apostolic and Pentecostal and to give them an insight on that Christian life. But I didn't disciple them. I didn't stay with them. I didn't do any of that. So that leads us to me switching schools. Mm-hmm. So I transferred schools. I transferred to Otterbein. Mm-hmm. I wanted to switch my major. I was a business major at the time, or like a marketing major. And I learned some things, but I wasn't really interested in it. Yeah. I realized that I wanted to help people. So I became my major, I switched over to public health. Yeah. But my school, Waynesburg, didn't offer it. Mm-hmm. So I had to go to Otterbein because they were one of the few schools that actually offered a public health education course. Mm-hmm. Or education major. Yeah. So that's exactly what I needed. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what I needed. But bro, guess this. I couldn't afford to go to Otterbein. Mm-hmm. I couldn't afford it. This lady tells me, or my parents clean houses, right? Mm-hmm. And so this lady tells my mom and my dad, hey, I want to pay for Michael's college tuition. Okay. Here's $10,000. Tell him to go pay for whatever he needs. And that was like almost the exact amount of what I needed. This same lady gave me the car that I drive today. Mm-hmm. So she's a millionaire, bro. She's super rich. Yeah. Right? And she's greatly used by God to bless people financially. Right? She's greatly used by God to bless people. And so I start going to Otterbein and we start doing Bible studies on campus. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I feel like that's my call. Mm-hmm. I knew that I was in Columbus, Ohio, in Otterbein for a specific reason. Mm-hmm. Right? So my roommate you've met my old roommate. You met him. His
Yeah.
name is Hans.
Yeah.
Right. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
He's super
chill dude. Yeah.
super just down to earth.
One of the nicest dudes you'll ever meet.
Yeah. He's super
absolutely.
humble. I have never heard him get mad unless he's like playing a game or something.
Right.
But
yeah.
like he's a great guy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's from the Netherlands, and he just wanted to learn more about America. Right. Well, that's not why he came to America. He came to America because it was like an abroad study or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
But while he was here, he's like
student.
Yeah.
Right.
But while he's here, he's like, I might as well learn about America.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach him how to play basketball. I start like I don't necessarily disciple him
Mm-hmm.
per se, but I'm giving him life advice.
Yeah.
And I invite him to church a couple times. He says no, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
He says no though.
You just want to be a light in his life.
Exactly.
Right.
You want a light in his life. And so my last day on campus, because I decided to move in with John, with you. You allowed me to
Mm-hmm.
stay in your basement with you. And so I'm telling this guy, and he's about to go back to the Netherlands too. And I give him one of my Bibles, right? And I tell him, hey, bro, listen, if there's anything that you have a question about in life,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to find the answer in this. And I give him one of my Bibles. Now, I don't say this to say that I want him to the Lord, because I didn't. I don't know what he does now. I kind of lost communication with him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we text back and forth here and there a little bit.
But you left him something
Exactly. I left
to
him.
use.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave him that seed. Discipleship is not going to be an overnight process.
Right.
It's not.
Right. It's
a day by day.
Day by day. Yeah.
Peter in the Bible, when they're in the garden
Mm-hmm.
and the Roman soldiers come, Peter, who's been with Jesus all this time, still thinks that the right answer is violence.
Mm-hmm.
And he cuts this Roman soldier's ear off.
Yeah.
But Peter was a disciple.
Mm-hmm.
And Peter still was the rock
Mm-hmm.
in which, Jesus built the church upon,
Mm-hmm.
right? Our ministry, as Christians, we can't expect overnight changes.
Mm-hmm.
And during this whole time, even starting back in elementary
Mm-hmm.
to now, what I've been realizing is for so long I've been wanting, change to happen
Mm-hmm.
overnight, but it's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Change, if you look at a flower,
Mm-hmm.
a change in the flower doesn't happen from seed. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't happen immediately. It doesn't happen from seed to flower overnight. No,
Mm-hmm.
it's a process. It starts as something that's hard, that's not just crusty, just
Mm-hmm.
like dirty. You got to put it in the dirt, but then it starts to grow, and that's the important part, is the growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't grow, there's no change, because change comes from growth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You might lose a couple leaves on the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You might, droop over a little bit, like flowers do from time to time. But you're growing.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you'll get to that flower. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I look at that in two ways. One, that's kind of what my life has been like.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I started out as a little seed, little hard, crusty little rat.
Mm-hmm.
Little thing. And, I had some knocks and bruises along the way. And I'm still not perfect.
Right.
I'm nowhere near from perfect, but I'm growing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that I could ask for. And so that's what I look at it for my life. And
Mm-hmm.
then when we disciple people, it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's little by little. So if you ever do teach Bible studies, or if you ever do, minister to somebody, and they say no to you, it's okay. It's okay. You get to try again another day.
Yep.
And, eventually things are going to happen. Water's going to move around, right? And growth will begin to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's step by step by step by step,
Yeah.
So, I'm coming into my fourth semester, my second full year at Otterbein. And along the way, I've, my life's been good. My life has been good. I got a job at a Boys and Girls Club, right?
Mm-hmm.
I work downtown. I work with kids every day, and I'm the happiest that I've been in a long time. So I'm living good. But what the trend is that when God is removed, I'm not happy.
Mm-hmm.
When God is there, I might have, some bumps and bruises, but I'm happy. I'm content.
Yeah.
I feel joy. I feel peace.
Mm-hmm.
Without God, I don't feel those things, So that's my life story, man.
There you go.
That's where I'm at right now.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
And here we are. And I don't know. I guess the best way to conclude this is, you have an incredible story. And you guys are kind of following us along as we continue our stories.
For sure.
And, for the... I feel like... I don't know. I feel like this is going to be good,
Oh,
I feel like, we're not professionals by any means.
Not at all.
Do not seek us for legal, medical,
Just don't.
Just don't. There's people for that. We are not those people.
But we're just someone that you can listen to.
Exactly.
To relate to.
We deal with problems just like everyone else in this world.
Yeah. We're nice guys, but we're also normal guys.
Yeah.
Like, we're normal. And we get day-to-day struggles.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot in my story that I didn't, say, because I don't need to say.
Right.
But we could bring it up in other
Absolutely.
episodes.
Absolutely.
For sure. But we're just normal people, and we are relatable. We relate to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes us, that's what makes us nice guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, next week, it's going to be my story.
Yep. I'll be asking the questions.
He'll be asking the questions. He'll be kind of emceeing the interview, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we'll get back to kind of a regular schedule that week after. We'll start bringing up, our basic topics again.
Yeah.
Kind of going down the rabbit hole if we need to.
We just wanted to lay a base layer of who we are.
Absolutely. Typically, I think this episode ran for probably about 2 hours.
Oh wow.
Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Wow.
These are probably going to be our 2 longest episodes. It's
sure.
probably going to be his story and my story. And then we'll kind of get back on track to probably that 45 minutes to an hour. But we definitely wanted to lay time aside because we both have, unique stories in our own way.
Yeah.
And we both have had our struggles and had our problems. And I think it's important to know that, people who have a face on camera, they're normal people.
They're normal people.
They're normal people.
And we share our stories because we want you guys to know that what you go through isn't... You're not isolated.
You're not doing it on your own, man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, we've all been through stuff.
Yeah.
John's story might look a little bit different through mine, but I can share the emotions that he's had.
Absolutely. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're going to log off for the night. It's late. You got a trip to make tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I got to work in the morning. It's almost 1.
Oh, man.
I'm going to be dead tomorrow, I'll tell you what.
We are the nice guys. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Peace.
Peace.